Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Traditions Homestead. Well, it is a nice day today. It's going to get up to 42 or something. So today is a great day for us to start one of the projects that we have been hoping to do for the last couple of years. But this is the year that we're actually going to get done, and we're super excited.
Behind us are some of the original raised beds that we built when we moved to our property. You may not even really be able to see them anymore because they're pretty much disintegrated. We built them out of logs around the edges, logs that we could get back in the woods, and they just haven't held up very long. I mean, they're about 4 years old now, so they've done okay, but they haven't done great.
We knew all along that using these pine logs that this wouldn't be a permanent solution for us. But also, since then, we've also really enjoyed growing directly in the ground. So we don't need these raised beds anymore. We've been planting in them every year since then, but this is a year that we're just going to get rid of them and expand our big in-ground garden.
So let's take a little walk around. We're going to show you what we're going to be up to today, and then we're going to get to work.
So I'm standing actually inside the largest of 4 raised bed gardens that we have here, and you can see down here that there are logs that we use to build these. They're so soft. Look at, they're just completely falling apart. So we have 4, like I said, and this is the largest. So the goal today is to really take off as much of these logs as we can and spread out the dirt that's remaining and till this area in a way that will combine this section with our big in-ground garden. Now we've got some work that needs to be done beforehand. Mainly, we have 8 bales of hay left over from last year, these big round bales, so we need to move them to the hay barn that we now have. So that's a big part of the project. And this very last raised bed, we have not used in several years. We haven't touched or done anything. So there are some sizable wild weeds there that we need to cut down before we can do much there. So we have quite a bit of work to do to get this ready to incorporate it into our main in-ground garden.
Like Sarah said, we have 8 round bales of hay left here behind us that are left from last winter. What we're going to do today is we're actually going to load these into the trailer, take them over to our hay barn, and put them in the hay barn. When we originally bought these bales of hay, we didn't have a hay barn, so we had to just leave them sit outside like this. They're still in pretty good shape, so we're gonna move them down to the hay barn, get them out of the weather. The problem that I'm gonna run into today is that the trailer that I have to move these round bales is also the trailer for my tractor. So I'm gonna have to load them into the trailer in such a way that we can unload them on the other end without a tractor right now. I think I can fit 3 per trip, so we're going to have to make several trips to make this work, but I'm going to load them in, and then on the other end, we're hoping that we can just roll them out. We'll have to see. I'm hoping it's going to work. Now that we have those round bales of hay out of the way, we can get to finally dismantling the raised bed gardens.
Some of these logs are going to come out pretty easily with the tractor. Others are just going to kind of disintegrate and fall apart. We're just going to do the best that we can, pull these out and move on. Wow, did you guys see how rotten these logs were when we were pulling them out of the ground? Man, these have been in the ground for 4 years, and while we knew that they wouldn't last forever, I'm not quite sure we knew that they would disintegrate so quickly. And by the looks of them, we probably should have replaced them after 2 years. So it was an easy project for us when we first moved on to this homestead. We were able to use the resources that we found back in the woods. All these trees were already down and dead, but they were in really great shape when we put them in here to make these raised beds. But now we know that we need to do something other than just logs from the woods.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bucket back on my tractor. We'll take the bale spikes off. We'll put the bucket on and we'll start to level out some of this dirt. And then hopefully after that, we can hook the tiller up and get this tilled in.
Well, that's an easy way to get rid of a brush pile. Or a weed pile in this case.
Well, I've taken the tractor with the bucket and I've just not leveled, but just kind of spread out some of the dirt enough that now I can get my tiller and get ready to till this ground up. Now, if you remember, our raised beds were 4 different sizes, kind of a pie shaped out here. We're not going to do that with the in-ground garden. So when I till today, I'm going to till probably 3 or 4 passes along the front of the garden, and it's going to come out to about somewhere in this area parallel with the garden. So there'll still be some of the ground over here where the longest of the raised beds was, and that'll just be staying the way it is. I'm not going to till that up. I'd rather have that be nice compact ground there because I don't want that to be a big muddy mess when it rains and things, since that won't be part of the garden. So I'm going to try to get as close as I can to our current garden. We still have our fence up and we still have the woven ground cover down. We'll be taking all of that down in the next week or so. But for now, I'm just going to get as close as I can. And then once we have all of that down and I till the entire garden and we add all of our amendments, I'll just finish that last strip that's in between what we're doing today and the main garden. Well, the tiller did a pretty good job of smoothing all of that out. Now today, my goal wasn't to do a good final till like we would when we're getting the garden ready, but really just to kind of smooth all of this out, go over the areas that had grass and just kind of scuff the grass up. Sometime in the near future, what I'll do is I'll come back with my plow or a middle buster, which is kind of a plow that goes deeper down into the ground, kind of turns everything over, and then I'll till again after that.
We have a big amending project coming up. Last year, at the end of the season, we had such a hard time digging our sweet potatoes, and we were talking with y'all about that, about what we could do, because it seemed like our soil had just gotten really hard and compacted. You all said, oh my gosh, you need to add so much organic matter to really rejuvenate that and loosen up all that soil. So we have a big project coming up where we're going to do that in the month of January so that all of that can sit until May when we plant and just hopefully turn into some really beautiful soil. So look forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a big project, but it's going to be something that is going to really, really help us. We actually even had some problems with germination on some of our seeds last year because of compaction, and we don't want that same problem this year.
You guys, so this is the end of our project for today. It's amazing how the short days can really affect how long you can work in the winter rather than, until 9 or 9:30 at night in the summer, but it has been a good day's work.
Yeah, it's only 4 o'clock and the sun is already starting to go down, and it's starting to get chilly out. Yeah. We still have a few other things to do around the farm before we head off for dinner tonight, so this is where we're going to end today's video.
You guys, thanks so much for coming along with us while we do these projects on the farm. Hopefully it gives you an opportunity, maybe some ideas, or just an opportunity to see, hey, you know, what all goes into planning for the future and having a homestead.
If you're not a subscriber of our channel yet, I sure hope you'll hit that subscribe button before you leave. Don't forget, the best way that you can help us is to always share our videos on all of your social media so other like-minded people can learn that there is another way to live. Until next time, thank you so much for stopping by our homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.